Hi, I'm Maura McCullough, the founder of College Scoops. College Scoops is the insider's guide to campus life, whether you're online, visiting, or living there. Imagine the ultimate college tour where you quickly access all the information you need and get the answers to the burning questions you or your student may have about campus life. We go beyond the data to give you an authentic college experience. Our College Scoops guides have interactive links to everything: where to live, study, eat, where to go, and what to do, all in one place, made by students for students.
Hey guys, my name is Sophie. I'm a junior university scholar at Baylor University, concentrating in great text, art history, and Chinese. And I'm super excited to tell you guys about Baylor. I just have a couple questions up here that I'm going to go off of and then give you guys all of the scoop, if you will, about Baylor University.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Lauren Jarvis. I am a junior university scholar student at Baylor University, and so my areas of concentration are economics, political science, international studies, and journalism. And I am from Boerne, Texas, which is right outside of San Antonio. On campus, I do participate in Model UN as one of their delegates. And I've also worked a couple jobs with the Honors College, working as a special events assistant to get some of the events and commencement and things like that prepared. And off campus in Waco, I'm also involved with the Cove Waco, which is a homeless shelter for youth.
My name is Katherine, and I'm going to be a junior next fall at Baylor University. I'm studying neuroscience, as well as I'm in the Baylor Interdisciplinary Corps and the Baylor Honors Program. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, so I didn't have to go far to go to Waco. And at Baylor, I'm involved in many things. I am on leadership in my honors residential dorm, and next year I will be a co-chair on the academic committee, as well as I'm involved in Baylor Rock Climbing Club, and I also volunteer at a local school in Waco.
My name is Sai Sagiredi. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm part of the Science Research Fellows program at Baylor. My specific areas of study are biology, medical humanities, and philanthropy and social innovation. I am a rising sophomore. On campus, I'm part of Scientia, which is Baylor's undergraduate science journal. I'm an editor, and I'm also part of the Honors Residential College's social committee. I am involved in a lot of independent project work with professors, and I'm also a teaching assistant for an intro biology class.
I am from Dallas, Texas. Again, University Scholars is my major. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then I have 3 concentrations: great text, art history, and Chinese. Super, super exciting. I love Chinese Language and Culture Club. Rock Climbing Club holds my heart dear. Global Friendship Program too partners international students with Baylor students. So that's a really fun way to learn about students from different cultures and different countries. I really enjoyed that as well. So those are just a few of the things that I've done personally to get involved.
What do you wish you knew when you arrived at freshman orientation?
I thought that since I go to a larger university, that it would be really challenging to meet people and get to know them and become part of a friend group. But in reality, it was actually really easy to meet people and enjoy becoming a part of a friend group and a community. It helped that everyone else in freshman year is also wanting to find new friends. They also are wanting to find their people, and so everyone is so excited about getting to know each other. So many people are just reaching out to different people and finding friends in their classes or their organizations or their dorms or at random school events that you go to. I made so many friends in the unlikeliest of places, and that has been a real joy to me.
I really wish that I had been a little more prepared on the course side of things. Baylor has a couple of really great resources for this. First of all, being the schedule of classes, so you can look up all the classes that you can take. It tells you about requirements, prerequisites, everything like that. Another one is BU Books, which is Baylor's own version of Rate My Professors. So if you're interested in looking into certain professors that you want to sign up for their courses ahead of time, I'd recommend going on the schedule of classes and looking at the professors and then running those names through BU Books, and then they will also be able to kind of give you some of the information.
What was the deciding factor in choosing Baylor University?
So the mixed factor of it being a very familiar place in my family, it was a family school combined with, it was exactly the kind of program and studies that I wanted to do. It was just the perfect combination and is ultimately why I ended up choosing Baylor.
Most of all would be the University Scholars major, but honestly that was the reason that I chose Baylor most of all. I really love the ability to customize what I wanted to study and not have to take a bunch of required classes or prerequisite classes or core classes.
I received a scholarship through the Baylor Honors College that made it significantly cheaper to go to Baylor than any other school. And so that was really what decided it for me. But in addition, Baylor, the reason I applied to Baylor was their honors program was so awesome because I get to study STEM and also do humanities.
The school's Tier 1 R1 research focus has a lot of new research opportunities for students to be involved in, and the community is absolutely incredible. When you walk on campus, you just feel right at home. Everyone will literally greet you anywhere you go. So that's been absolutely amazing. But the main deciding factor in choosing my college was, I think I would say, the scholarships. Like, Baylor really makes it possible for individuals to attend here.
How easy is it to register for classes?
The schedule of classes is always posted beforehand, so you can go through, pick out the little numbers for all the classes that you want to take, and then they'll give you a certain time. You wake up, plug those numbers in, and then you're done.
The actual registering process is super easy at Baylor. You're able to make a pre-prepared plan, and then when it's your registration time, you just click submit and see if you get into all your classes. Because Baylor is a smaller school than big state schools like UT or A&M, it makes it easier to get into classes, and often you have personal connections with the professors that can sometimes help you if you really need to get into a class on a certain semester.
It's really simple to register for classes. The first time you do it, it's in your advising appointment, and your advisor, who can be a member of the College of Arts and Sciences or a professor, they will walk through it step by step for you online, and then from there you will know how to do it every single time.
It's a fairly relaxed system. The most stressful part would simply be if the class that you wanted ends up getting full before you can sign up for it. Then that gets a little more tension. But a lot of the classes have multiple sections, and so there are different options and ways that you can schedule. And so it's really not that big of a deal if you don't end up with a class that you want, and you have options to work around that.
What is the social scene like? Are freshmen allowed at parties?
I would say that it depends on boys versus girls. More girls are involved in sorority life than boys are, but I'd only estimate it's probably like 30%, maybe 40% among girls. There are also clubs and activities in abundance. If you are interested in anything, there's probably a club for it, and if there isn't, then you can start one super easily. Intramural sports are a big deal here. Then there's all types of clubs and activities, whether that's academic, social, service, the whole host. If you're interested, there's a website called Baylor Connect that you can go onto, which lists all of those opportunities. It might boggle your mind because there's just literally so much that you can do, but it's super fun and very chill.
Well, for me, when I arrived at Baylor, I was a little bit concerned that if I didn't rush for Greek life, that I wouldn't get to take part in a lot of the social scene at Baylor, but that is not true. Baylor Greek life is super fun and exciting, but it's not exclusionary. So even though I didn't choose to rush, I still have had so much fun participating in events and parties, and I know a lot of people in Greek life who are my friends, and it doesn't matter that I'm not a part of a sorority. Everyone can find their niche area, whether it's parties or certain events or whether it's through organizations.
I would say it also depends on the dorm you live in. I lived in the honors residential college, and I'll continue living there for my sophomore year, and our dorm hosted so many events for incoming freshmen to be involved in, get to know the community, and it was absolutely amazing. Most of my friends now are people who I met at those events.
Baylor students are some of the friendliest people that I have ever met, and so the social scene at Baylor is pretty vibrant and pretty friendly and open. A lot of students every day will be studying together with their friends. They'll be going off campus to take hikes in Cameron Park, or to go to different coffee shops or various concerts that are held across Waco, or especially at different coffee shops like Common Grounds in Waco. And a lot of students are getting out there and doing things besides just working on their homework or working on school.
How difficult is it to find housing?
For freshmen, this doesn't pertain to you guys as much because when you come in for your first year, all freshmen have to live on campus, which is actually really nice. I enjoyed that. And if you're living in a residential college, which is Teal, Earl, and Memorial/Alexander, the honors residential college, then you stay on campus for 2 years. And I honestly really loved that. I have really enjoyed my time in Memorial, but I won't wax too much about that. Beyond the dorms as well, you can move up. There's a whole host of apartments. A lot of them are really, really nice too and super close to campus because Waco isn't like the largest town in existence. There's a lot of housing that's available, and it's super, super affordable and close by school.
And I've never heard of people having trouble figuring out where to live or finding a spot that works for them. There's a lot of residential areas right next to Baylor, and so most people I know who live off campus are within walking distance of school, which makes it super convenient and easy for them to get to classes.
This is really dependent on the dorm that you're looking at. If you want to live in one of the newer dorms like Earl, it is pretty competitive, I'd say. Earl has about a 50% acceptance rate. But if you do want a dorm similar to Earl, but like you wouldn't have the pre-health community at Earl, you could look into dorms like North Russell, which have about a 75% acceptance rate. So I would say overall, finding housing is not difficult at all. Baylor guarantees freshman housing on campus. Off-campus housing, it's not that difficult as well. There are so many apartments. There is an agency called Brothers Management, which Baylor owns, and they have a lot of off-campus apartments.
Baylor actually really does a great job helping students find housing and find roommates, and that was one of the easiest parts of freshman year. All of the information and images of the different dorms and residence halls are all listed on the website, and so you can get a feel for the kind of place that you want to live. And Baylor has a very great structure of the residence halls. You have the basic freshman residence halls that if you just want to live in a normal type of dorm, then that's an option. There's also residential colleges. There's Brooks and Teal and the Honors Residential College, all of which are customized and specialized to a specific area of study. And then you have living learning communities that have communities of people that are very similar and interested in similar things like outdoor adventure or leadership or education. And so it's very customized and fits each student. And then finding a freshman roommate is fairly straightforward. They have a great system to pair you with people that they think you'd be compatible with.
Are students actively involved in clubs, recreational sports, and outside activities?
Yes, absolutely. Baylor students are super involved in a whole host of clubs, opportunities. Like I said, there's literally so much to do and so many fun things to explore. So I encourage you, especially if you're a freshman, to just jump in, try a bunch of things. It's very low pressure.
Everyone I know is involved in at least one or two really important things to them outside of classes. Some are involved in even more. Baylor allows you to explore all of your passions, whether it's musical talents or sports and doing intramural sports or caring about a certain cause and starting an organization about that. Everything is available on Baylor campus and everyone is really involved in different things. I always feel like I learned so much from the people around me just hearing about what they're doing.
I would say Baylor students are really active in clubs, recreational sports, and outside activities. All of my friends are involved in one club or more, and all the leaders within these clubs make an effort to ensure that everyone is engaged and they are doing different tasks. Baylor's campus is pretty active.
So Baylor itself has, I believe, around 300 different student organizations that every student can find using the portal called Connect, Baylor Connect. All of the organizations are listed there, and there's one specialized for every single person. And so everyone can find something that they are interested in to get involved in, and so most students do. We even at each semester have an entire event across the entire campus of all of the organizations that get to have a table and present a little bit about their organization to encourage people to get involved.
Does Baylor do a good job helping students with internships and research opportunities?
Yes, absolutely. There's a couple of ways to do this. First of all is through the Career Center, which is incredibly proactive. They are very much there for students. They have like resume writing, like cafe seminars, all types of ways to get connected. They have a career fair every year, which is like a huge deal on campus, especially if you are a business student. So those are really, really big. As well, the Office of Engaged Learning is another great resource. They handle things like major fellowships and awards and scholarships. And so internships as well sometimes fall under their purview.
There's an awesome resource at Baylor, which is the Baylor Career Center. This just helps each student find where they're supposed to be, whether it's at Baylor or when they're home for the summer or wherever it is, or when they're leaving Baylor and graduating. But all of these resources mean that Baylor does a really good job of helping their students succeed in all areas.
One of the biggest reasons I think people should go to Baylor is the professors. The professors are absolutely amazing. The mentorship and support that they give their students, it is incredible. They genuinely care about their students, and this is shown when they help students apply for internships, when they offer students research opportunities. Once a professor sees potential within a student, they will definitely support you in all your endeavors. It is incredibly amazing. I cannot stress this point enough.
Baylor also uses a portal called Handshake that you get to kind of create a resume and profile online that employers can look at, and you can engage with other students and kind of use it as a college-style LinkedIn. Personally, I am in the political science economics policy realm, and so I have been very involved with the Baylor and DC program, both in the summer and in the fall semesters, and they have done a wonderful job showing me different opportunities of places that I can intern in DC, helping me know how to craft my resume, cover letters, anything that I need to do in order to help myself get a job in DC. And so that program itself is an example of the types of programs for each major that Baylor does offer to help customize the types of cover letters or resumes or training that you are receiving to get very specific to the area that you are going to be studying and the area that you want to be working in.
What tips do you have to succeed academically at Baylor?
First is to manage your time well. I would recommend getting a planner and sticking to it, because if you use a planner to figure out when your assignments are due or when you're doing different things, that means that you can really plan out your time and make sure that you know when you can afford to be spontaneous with friends or when you really need to buckle down and get that project done because it's due later that week. That really has helped me make sure that I'm managing my time so that I can also manage my stress. My second piece of advice is don't pull an all-nighter. I know lots of people when they talk about college are like, oh, all-nighters are the way to go. But I would always recommend, as both personally and as a neuroscience student, always get a good night's rest. That is always worth more than a couple hours more studying, I promise.
So I would say one of the biggest things is to ensure that you're not overloading yourself in terms of classes. My recommendation is, as a freshman, take 15 to 16 credits. So you will be presented with so many different opportunities on campus. You'll have X amount of clubs reaching out. You'll have different classes that you want to take, and you have to ensure that you're taking an appropriate number of classes that is right for you, being involved in a small number of clubs because you want to be involved a lot in certain organizations so that you are definitely making an impact at what you do, as opposed to just being a member in a wide variety of clubs.
I'm going to say two main things. The first one being that it's important to find an area to study or to work that is like your spot. Areas that you have worked before, that you're able to really sit down and know that you can get work done. And those can be pretty consistent places. For me, I tend to work in the sub at Baylor all the time, pretty much there every day, because that is where I'm able to really get some things done. And I also get to have little breaks every now and then when I see a friend walk into the room. The second thing that I'm going to say would be to reach out to your professors and really do go to office hours. The professors at Baylor are some of the nicest people, and they really do want to help you, which means that if you go to office hours to ask your questions or just even get a little bit deeper into the material that you have been discussing in class, they want to engage with you.
One of them is to really take advantage of the Writing Center. You can go in and then usually an English or English adjacent student, either undergraduate or graduate, will like walk through your essay with you, read through it, help you through it. It is just a great resource. Good to have someone looking over your essay. Another thing too is finding your favorite study space on campus. Some of my personal favorites are if you go into Moody Library and then walk all the way through into Jones Library. There's like a huge library space, big tall ceilings. This is one of my absolute favorite places to go study. Coffee shops around Waco too are incredible. I love Fabled and Dichotomy are some of my favorites. So good places to go off campus if you need to kind of get off campus and get into zone. Those are some really great places to study. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, I actually have a YouTube channel where I make videos about Baylor stuff. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to come over there, hop on there and let me know. And I'm always glad to answer questions. I love talking to prospective students about one of my favorite places in the world. And I very much hope that you look more into Baylor and strongly consider it in your college apps.
Visiting colleges and unsure of the best places to see during your stay? Here's how you can amplify the student testimonials you just heard next time you're on campus. Our new College Scoops guides give you and your students self-guided tours, making sure your visit is complete. From favorite student food spots to half-day and full-day tours, to the most popular spots for nightlife and exercise, and so much more. College Scoops offers comprehensive information to help you rock your college tours. At College Scoops, you can activate your membership that gives you access to these unparalleled, exclusive, student-approved resources. Unsure about how to start? Try browsing our free sample guide, The University of Maryland, or get a week-long College Scoops membership.